it's been 2 years since the last travel. The last travel I did was to Switzerland during winter. And that was the most memorable travel that I ever did. Bam. I think I kinda overdid myself this time. This is gonna be hard to top off. Two years. 2 years of just thinking, basically. During the pandemic, everything was just so uncertain of when we were gonna be able to travel again. And that was honestly such a rough time for me. Because traveling has always been a big passion for me, and not having that in mind and having something to long for and work towards, that was really devastating. And finally be able to travel again this summer was... I don't know how to put words into it, but obviously it was really amazing. And I was thinking so hard of which places I would go back to if I was able to travel again. And I always came back to Switzerland in mind. Because Switzerland was one of the countries that I felt so free and felt so much enjoyment just being there, and all accessibilities to all the things that you can do. So I figured that would be my first place to go back to when everything is opening up again. So yeah, this is Switzerland 2022. It feels really weird to say that again, but also really good to say that. So yeah, the first day I flew to the city Zurich. As usual, I always fly there for the first day and usually stay there for at least one night and just revisit Zurich, because I don't know, it's kind of like a nostalgic city for me by this point. Like, I have to visit it if I go to Switzerland again. The first goal that I had was going to a city that was called Thun, and I always had this back in my mind when I was gonna go back to Switzerland, is because when I was here 2 years ago, I was actually talking to a receptionist at the hotel that I was staying at in Interlaken, and she highly recommended me to go to Thun. So I went to Thun and just, yeah, I wanted to check the city out to see how it was, basically. And yeah, the first day I went to the main city, and there was a castle that you can see like the views over both the lake and the city, and it was pretty close to my hotel, and it was such amazing views. It was so beautiful. And also one thing that's super nice about this location that I was staying at in Thun, I booked a hotel that was really close to a lake, and I remember just sitting there and watching the sunset the first day, and I just felt like, man, I'm finally back. I'm back traveling, and it feels so great, man. And yeah, the second day I wouldn't say I was clueless, but I was like, okay, what should I do next here in Thun? Because I feel like I experienced mostly the city, at least. But then I was looking around in Google Maps, and I actually found this bridge that was in between two mountains, and it looked so scenic, and I was like, okay, I have to go there. And yeah, after Thun I went to Interlaken again, actually. I will explain that a little bit further into the video, why I stayed there. And yeah, the first day in Interlaken, I was going to a cable car that was in in the center of Interlaken, basically, where you can see the views of, yeah, Interlaken. And I actually missed out of this cable car because I don't know, it didn't cross my mind when I was there the last time. And of course the views were super amazing and super good, and I was just excited to like, oh, okay, basically I'm gonna do all the things that I missed when I was here in 2 years ago when I was here in winter. And one of the things that I actually missed, it was Gringelwald first. And man, and of course the views were astonishing, so beautiful. Every good word you can say, it was so good. But yeah, after Gringelwald first, I went to Kleiderschneideregg, and the reason why I went there again was because I wanted to hike down from Kleiderschneideregg back to Wengen and then back to Lauterbrunnen. So that was my plan for the second day. And yeah, like the hike down there was, I don't know, probably the most scenic walks that I ever done by this point. As we are, yeah, better life is waiting. That we were holding on to, now is sinking, let go. I've been healing on my own, and it hurts so. I've been scared of getting older, and my father's gone. Hold on, have hope. Also, one thing that was kind of funny when I was staying in Interlaken, since it was high season, it was really hard to get any hotel or hostel. It was, I wouldn't say everything was fully booked, but most things were fully booked. I was kind of picky on my location because I wanted to be close to the train station. So I booked like, I don't know, more of a, I wouldn't say high tier hotel, but it was kind of like below that. And yeah, the views from the hotel was super nice, and they also had some live music that I would show you here. So yeah, the main reason why I was staying in Interlaken was because spontaneously I was going to meet up with a friend who lived close to Interlaken. It was only 2 hours drive for him. So him and his family decided to drive to Interlaken, and we just meet up and hang. It was kind of funny because I was acting as their tour guide, because they've never been to Jungfrau region, and they were asking me like, oh, what are other places that you would recommend? And the first thing that came into my mind was, yeah, you have to see Lauterbrunnen from the ground. That is a must if you're traveling here. So yeah, we went there for a full day and just enjoyed the views from Wengen, and also watched the first waterfall. And yeah, it was such a wholesome family, and it was super great to meet you, Chris and Julia. Yeah, it was such a nice day. After meeting up with Chris and Julia, I actually went back to Lucerne. And the reason why I went back to Lucerne was because there was a cable car that I actually missed last time, and I just figured it would be cool to see Lucerne again in summertime, and it's also close to Zurich, so why not? And yeah, before going there, I also saw the lake on the other side of Interlaken. And yeah, the final day in Lucerne, as I mentioned before, I went to the cable car, Pilatus, I think it was called. And that was honestly the high point of this travel. I don't know, the views up there were so broad. It's like, you have to walk around so much to experience everything, and that is something I'm always gonna love when it comes to sightseeing or like just being atop of a mountain. If it has a lot of offer, it's great. One thing that I hate when you go up in mountains and cable cars, if you feel like limited in like a, I don't know, like closed area. I don't enjoy that, but this one was, yeah, it was so great. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I just want to take the time to say a huge thank you to everyone who are just excited for me to do this kind of things and just supporting me in my traveling. It means everything to me that I can impact someone else with solo traveling or just traveling just in general, sharing my adventures. And a huge thank you to my wonderful family who always been supportive, and my wonderful friends, past or present. Everyone who has been excited for me to travel. It means everything. And I really hope that I will upload soon again, but we'll see what happens. But in the end, this is gonna be a wonderful story that I can share once again. So thank you so much for joining me on this journey. And yeah, until next time.